Hello friends, welcome back. In the last video, we learned about CentOS installation and we installed it on our computers using VirtualBox. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about file system and directories. Hopefully, you have also installed Ubuntu on your computer like we discussed in the last video. In today's video, we are gonna view the command line utility in CentOS and then I will switch to Kali Linux to show you the similarity between them. We will also learn how to navigate through the directories. We will also learn how to create directories and files, to add text to the file, how to copy file from one location to another, and also how to move files in folder. Now, this is similar to the cut and paste command in Windows. We will learn how to list the contents of the folder and also how to read the text of a file. Finally, at the end of the video, I will show you how to delete files and folders. Okay, let's begin with Ubuntu. As you can see, this is the Ubuntu system that I downloaded and installed on VirtualBox. So, how it looks like, it's the graphical user interface of Ubuntu. You can see here the Show Applications tab, where you can view all the applications. But we are not interested in the applications as of now. We are interested only in the command line interface. So I'm going to open the terminal. Let me zoom in so that you all can view my screen clearly. Okay, so in Windows file system, the mother of all directories is C drive. It's actually the C drive where you create the subdirectories and folders which users can access. Now, similar to the C drive, we have root drive in Ubuntu or any other Linux system. How to open that root directory? First of all, we would like to check which directory are we in. In Windows, it's easy. We just can check the Windows bar at the top and it will show us the directory that we are in. However, in command line utilities like in Ubuntu, we have a command that is known as pwd. The full form of pwd is print working directory. It will show us our current directory with the path. So right now we are in our home directory and we want to switch to the root directory. What should we do? I will use the cd command, also known as change directory command, and the root directory is represented by backward slash. That's how we can enter the root directory. So you see the symbol, this symbol changes to backward slash. So that shows that we are in root directory also. That shows that we are in root directory. But how to confirm that? Once again, we can run the pwd command to display the working directory on our screen. Okay, it shows that we are in root directory. Next, what next? In Windows system, whenever you open a file or a folder, it will automatically displays all the content of that file. But in command line, how should we do that? How can we display the contents of this particular folder that we are in right now? Simple again. We have list command here, also known as ls command. So I will simply list down the contents of this file. So you can see these are all the contents of the root directory. But what are these things? I'm not sure. I want to see these items in detail. I'm not sure which one is a file or which one is a folder. How to identify that? We would need a long listing for that. How to get that? Simple command ls hyphen l. Now it will display the long listing. Now you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7 columns in this particular window. What all these options mean, what all these columns mean, we will discuss that in some time. But first of all, we just learned how to open the root directory, using the cd command. We also learned how to display the contents of the directory using the ls command. And then we finally use a long listing to display all the contents of the file, the detailed contents of the file. What if I want to sort that content? Just don't worry about what all we have in this file. We are going to discuss them in detail in one of the later videos. But as of now, just concentrate on the commands that we are discussing here. As of now, I have discussed three commands with you. The one is pwd to print the working directory. Next one is to change the directory, cd command. And the third one is the ls command. And there are certain options that we can use along with the ls command to display or modify the contents that we view on our screen. So what if I want to display this content sorted in order, of the newest window, the newest content, the newest file at the top, um, and the oldest file at the bottom? We can use ls minus lt command. So as you can see, the newest one, the newest file, that one created on 18th of July is at the top. It's not necessary that the file was created on 18th of July. Possible that there must be some kind of modification in that file. So that's the latest file. What if I want to reverse that order? Now I want oldest file at the top and the newest file at the bottom. We can simply reverse that using R. Now the command would be ls minus ltr. Press enter. Now the contents are reversed. Now I can see the newest file at the bottom and the oldest file at the top. So that was all about ls command, and the options that we used was minus L to use to display the long listing, T to sort it for time and reverse, and then we used R to reverse that sort order. What next? Let's learn one more command, clear, to clear our screen. Okay, so now you see that our screen is clear and we can type in the new commands here. What's the next command now? I want to create a directory. I want to create a new folder and I want to create it on my desktop. How to do that? Right now I am in root folder. So first I will have to go to the desktop folder. How to do that? Easy. First of all, I will display the contents here, ls. So I have to enter this home directory first. So I will cd into home directory. Again ls to display the contents of the home directory. I have to cd into my CyberHub home directory. Okay, so now I am in CyberHub directory. What do we have in CyberHub? We can list that. I want to enter the desktop. Okay, I will cd into desktop now. What we have in desktop right now? Nothing. Desktop is blank. Let's create a directory here. How to do that? To create a directory, we have to use the command makedir, mkdir, and let's name the directory as Game of Thrones. All right. The command executed successfully, but how do we know? How do we know if the directory has been created or not? We know the command. We use ls. You see, Game of Thrones directory has been created. Wonderful. What next? I want to create some files into that directory. How to do that? First of all, we will have to enter that directory. So now you can see the path here, desktop and Game of Thrones. So that means that I am in Game of Thrones directory. You can also print that on your screen using pwd command. All right. So let's create a file now using touch command. Let me create a file, Jon Snow. Okay, command executed successfully. List down the contents here. You see Jon Snow file has been created. Let me create one more directory here. Let me create a directory name house stark. Okay, list down the contents. Now you can see the one in blue is a directory and the one in white is actually a file. But how to know that? I mean, how to be sure about that? That the one showing in blue is actually a directory and one showing in white is actually a file. We can use long listing for that. Now I will show you. The one starting with D, house dark, is actually a directory. And the one starting with a hyphen, Jon Snow, is actually a file. That's how you can differentiate between a file and a folder in Linux systems. It's easy. File that we just created, the Jon Snow file, is a blank file. Now we will learn how to enter the text into this file. There are several ways to do that, but for this particular video or for this particular tutorial, I'm going to use Nano Editor. It's similar to txt files in a Windows system, uh, and but it is much more powerful than Windows. How to open that? You can open that using nano command and you will mention the file name. Now it will open the existing file, but if the file doesn't exist, it will create a new file. So you don't need to use the touch command to create a file. You can simply do that using the nano command. Let's say I have to create a new file here and I don't want to use the touch command. I straight away want to go into the editing mode and start typing text on that file. Aria start file. Okay, the file has been created and we are straight away in the editing mode here. Let me add some contents. Let me add some contents to this file. What should I write? Let me type Aria struck killed White Walker or the Night King. Now to come out of this editor, we will press Ctrl X. It will prompt us to save the file. I will press Y on my keyboard and then hit enter. Now again ls to see the listing of this directory. You see we have three files. One of them is a directory and other two are files. Is it? Let me ls minus l. So these two files start with hyphens. So that confirms that Arya Stark and Jon Snow are actually files and House Stark is actually a directory. All right. So let me add some content to Jon Snow as well. I will open this file. Now it's not going to create a new file since the file already exists. If the file didn't exist, it would create a new file. Jon Snow is the king in the north. Now Control X, yes, and hit enter. We are out of it. How can we display the contents of the file on our terminal? We don't necessarily have to open the file in an editor. We can simply display the contents on the terminal as well. There is a simple command for that, which is known as cat command. So let me show you the contents of Jon Snow file first. Jon Snow is the king in the north. We don't have to open the editor to display the contents. Similarly, let me open this Arya Stark file. Let me view the contents of this Arya Stark file. Kill the Night King. We can see the text that we added using the nano editor. We can display that using simple cat command. All right. So what next? We learned cd command, we learned pwd command, we learned ls command, and we learned the options ls minus l, ls minus lt, ls minus ltr. And also, we learned how to create file using touch and how to create a directory using makedir. What if I want to move this file from one place to another? We have this file. Okay, so before we do that, let me switch to the Kali Linux and show you the similarity there. Right now we are in Ubuntu and I'm going to switch to Kali Linux. Just give me a second. Okay, let me log in quickly here. So here we are. Let's learn rest of the commands in Kali. And you will notice that all the commands that we just used in Ubuntu will also work on Kali or any other Linux system. Perfect. So we can see we are in desktop directory, and how we can confirm that, or we can print that on the terminal. We can use pwd command. So that confirm that we are in desktop directory. So let's create a folder again now, but this time we are going to create a parent folder and then we have subfolders to it. In Windows, you will have to create that manually, right clicking the right clicking somewhere and then click on new folder, name that folder, and then further again going into that folder to create a subfolder. In Linux, it's quite easy. Let's see. Make dir. I have already created Game of Thrones folder in Linux, so let me create one here as well. That would be the parent directory. Now to that directory, let me create a folder for House Stark. Okay, and let me create one folder for Winterfell. Let's see what happens. And we are doing that all on the desktop. I'm sorry. I should have used the option -p here. -p will tell the Linux system that we have to make this directory as a parent directory. Let's try this command once again. As you can see here, Game of Thrones directory has been created. When we open that, you will see House Stark has been created as a child directory, and Winterfell has been created as a child directory for the folder House Stark. Wonderful. Okay, so we learned how to create a directory structure using the parent-child concept. We can also display that on our terminal using the tree command. Tree, Game of Thrones. Now you can see the contents in this format on your terminal itself. You don't have to manually open the folder to see if the folders are created or not. You can do that on the terminal itself. Perfect. Let me quickly create a file here. Let me create a file using touch command, and in next we are going to learn how to move that file or copy that file from one folder to another folder. It is similar to copy cut or copy paste command in Windows. So let's learn that now. I created a file, Jon Snow. Okay, the Jon Snow file has been created. Let me add some content to this file using the nano. Jon Snow, this is some random text that I added. Okay. Now you want to move this file, or maybe you want to first copy this file into this folder, Game of Thrones folder. How to do that? It's simple. First, we will learn copy and then we will learn how to move that. Let me copy using the command cp. I will type in the name of the file that I want to copy. Then finally, I will tell the path of the folder where we actually want to copy the destination path. So our destination is home, Cali, desktop, and Game of Thrones. Oh, it's not actually Game of Thrones, it's Game Thrones. I misspelled. That's mad. Okay, no issues. Let me try to copy that file into Game of Thrones folder, Game Thrones folder. Now let me open this Game of Thrones folder. One way I can simply use a graphical user interface to open that, or but I will prefer using the terminal. So let me enter cd, okay, ls. You see, we have this file here now. Okay, now the next I want to cut that folder, not just copy. I want to move that file into house dark folder. Right now we are in Game of Thrones directory. How to do that? It's simple. Move Jon Snow to where? This is the folder, and we want to move that to house dark. In order to move that file, we will have to first be in that directory where the file is. So let me switch to our desktop directory. Okay. Right now we are in desktop. Let's confirm that if we have Jon Snow file here. Yes, we have this file here. Now I'm going to move this file. In the previous command, we actually learned how to copy that file. Now I'm going to move that file to Game of Thrones folder. No, I'm not going to move it to the Game of Thrones folder. I'm going to move that to House Stark folder. Move Jon Snow, and then I will provide the path of that directory where we want to move in our file. Yes, this is the path. Don't we have this directory? Okay, it's on the desktop. So we provided the wrong folder, the longer, the wrong path. So we can quickly rectify that. You see, the file has been moved to the house dark folder now. It was showing error because we were not providing the correct path. Now we have corrected the path, so we were successfully able to move that file. So the command that we use to copy the files, we can use the same commands to copy and move the directories as well. So the commands would be similar, the process would be similar. I would like you to experiment that of your own now. So next, let's learn how to delete the directories and file. We use rmdir command to remove the directories. Let me first enter into Game of Thrones directory. Where we are right now, we are in desktop. So let me move to Game of Thrones directory. Okay, so what we have here, we have the folder House Dark. Let's see what we have in House Dark directory. We have Winterfell and Jon Snow, Winterfell folder and Jon Snow file. Let's delete the Winterfell folder. How do we do that? First enter. We can use the command rmdir to remove Winterfell directory. First of all, we will have to enter the House folder. Okay, here we have Winterfell. Now I will use the same command rmdir Winterfell. Once again, list the contents of this directory. You can see that Winterfell has disappeared. Let's remove the file as well. To remove the file, we can simply use rm command. For directory, it's rmdir. For files, it's just rm. And I'm going to remove the Jon Snow file now. Once again, view the contents. It's empty now. Okay. We are in desktop folder now. Now we have this uh, folder that I want to delete. So we already know the command rmdir. You will see this is not gonna work. I will tell you why. This directory is not empty, so that's why we were not able to remove this. This directory has subdirectories to it. So how to remove something that already have some kind of files or directories in it? We use rm minus r, r for recursive. So let's try this command. See, it's gone. We cannot really remove the directory that has contents using the rmdir command. We have to use rm minus r for them. All right, so this is how we conclude today's video. In tomorrow's video or in the next video, I am going to tell you about how to find directories, and files using find and locate command. That's going to be a very important topic. So just stay tuned. We will also learn about soft and hard links. We will get to know these things in detail tomorrow. So that's about it for today's video. If you like my video, if you find that information in this video useful, please make sure you click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.